Andrew Weissmann, let me begin with you and what you found in this search warrant that might tell us where we're going legally here.
There are a couple of things that are quite notable. I think before we saw the information today, there were a number of people, including myself, who thought that what was going on in this search was the Justice Department simply retrieving information that is vital to the national security of the United States and very secondarily concerned about a potential criminal case, meaning that this was more of a retrieval operation than anything involving a crime. However, the information that was set out in the material that was unsealed this afternoon suggests that this really could be the subject of a viable and, I think, very strong criminal case for which there is precedent for bringing such a case. And that's because not only did they allege that there was serious information that they wanted to find in Mar-A-Lago of a classified nature, but this was the top secret compartmentalized information. That is the most sensitive information that the government has, and it was found. Not only did they seek it, but it actually was found, and there was lots of it. Furthermore, by charging 1519, the obstruction statute, that is a huge aggravating factor, meaning not only did he possess the most classified information that the government has, but he obstructed justice. So those are both very serious crimes, and all you have to do is look at, let's say, General Petraeus, who was charged for, I think, offenses that pale in comparison to what appears to be the case here.
We have a defense tonight issued via Fox from a Trump spokesperson, a statement, and it's Bradley Moss. Tell me what your legal reaction to this is. This is the statement. President Trump, in order to prepare for work the next day, often took documents, including classified documents, to the residence. He had a standing order that documents removed from the Oval Office, taken to the residence, were deemed to be declassified the moment he removed them. Bradley Moss, that is the defense as of this hour tonight.
Yeah, well, first, let's think about this, Lawrence. The idea that Donald Trump was going to the residence with things to read at night, come on, if you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you in Alaska. But no, there's no evidence that there was some standing order. And even if there was, we have no reason to believe the White House was enforcing that. That would be insane to try and enforce. That would mean staff officials would have to follow him to the residence every single time he brought those documents with him to make sure to cross out markings and stamp it declassified so that other officials, when they saw it, knew it could be handled as unclassified. There's no indication any of that happened. He's flailing about. He's throwing everything he can at the wall. He's previewing a defense he might have if there's a criminal case. None of this is going to hold up.
And Neal Katyal, it strikes me as, nothing short of madness. I mean, first of all, let's just not insult the audience's intelligence. We know this isn't true. But for the moment, let's pretend that it was actually true. So Donald Trump, good student that he is of all the homework he has to do, takes this classified homework with him because something important has to be done about it tomorrow. That's why he's taking it home tonight to study. But in the process, he is declassifying this material that was, a minute ago, incredibly carefully protected material, and now won't be. That's the theory of the behavior they're describing here.
It's ridiculous, Lawrence, because you don't get to declassify something just for yourself. You declassify for everything. So is the claim that every time he brought something home, it now just allowed the entire federal government and you and me to see our nation's most sensitive secrets? We're talking about, sensitive compartmented information. These are covert operations. These are electronic intercepts, all sorts of stuff. It's ridiculous. And also, I'll point out that the 3 crimes that were at issue in the warrant today that were named don't rely on classification at all. In fact, some of them predate our classification regime altogether. So even if you bought this bogus defense, it's not going to get him out from under these 3 crimes. And that's why, to me, Lawrence, just to put a finer point on what Andrew was saying, the headline is, the former president of the United States is now under an investigation for violation of the Espionage Act and other federal crimes. And things are looking very serious for Donald Trump, far more so that it's far more likely that he will face a criminal trial than at any point in his life. We've already known since Monday he was the first former president to ever have been searched, his home. And now it looks like the FBI found the goods. And, before I was acting Solicitor General, I was National Security Advisor at the Justice Department. And I can tell you, this is incredibly serious stuff that they found. And yesterday, when we were on the program and we learned about the nuclear revelations that the FBI was looking for nuclear information and signals intelligence, I said, we have to be cautious. That's just what they're looking for. We don't know what they will find. But now we know today, Lawrence, it's not just the warrant, it's the documents the FBI seized. And the documents on that list include SCI, sensitive compartmented information, our most sensitive information. And that's why Donald Trump, since Monday, has been, pointing the finger at everyone saying, planted evidence, this and that. I mean, and it makes no sense. If the FBI planted this evidence, then what in the world are you talking about declassifying this information? How can it be that you declassified it if it's stuff that the FBI planted? It doesn't make any sense. And another thing is, if you did declassify it, why did you declassify it? Why in the world are you bringing this stuff to your home in Mar-a-Lago now? You're not the president. With nuclear secrets, evidence about foreign leaders, all sorts of classified information. None of this makes any sense. He's scrambling. It looks very, very bad for him.